Hello, it's the Goof. I wanted to make a video. Here I am fidgeting with things again. I'm such an idiot. I don't know why I fidget with stuff. I wanted to make a video kind of in a response to two other videos. Yeah, I'm going to put links in the description. But there's a fellow who, he did this video having to do with why Nintendo home consoles, they're basically weaker, Nintendo's always made weaker hardware, supposedly. No. And then, of course, my idol, which I wish he'd acknowledge me, he's not going to acknowledge me, but my idol, Rich, from Review Tech USA, he made a video responding to it. And one of the first things he said, which had nothing to do with the Adams video, one of the things he said was he disagrees with it, but it doesn't mean he's against it. I'm kind of the same way with Rich. I disagree with some things here and there. They make me go, but on the whole, I think he's an awesome dude. He has some intelligence to him. I hope one day he acknowledges me. He said he has acknowledged a lot of other YouTube personalities, but then again, I am just getting started. But the main topic at hand, the Nintendo consoles started off powerful, and even Rich says this, and yeah, it's true. The only time I think Nintendo's ever been behind is handhelds. I mean, because let's look right now at the Vita and the 3DS. The 3DS is not quite that powerful. It's pretty powerful. It's more powerful than hardware, handhelds before, but it's not as powerful as the Vita. The Vita is pretty powerful, which is a shame that it's not doing so well. The 3DS isn't doing it tremendously well either. But let's look back, and Rich did this, and I'm going to link to his video, but if you look back at the NES, that thing was powerful. It was way more powerful than the Atari and so forth before that. The ColecoVision, and what was that other one? There was another one. I know there was more than Coleco and I think it was Intellivision. Yeah, ColecoVision, Intellivision, Atari. Yeah, those systems. The NES dwarfed those son of a guns. Okay, then we look further down the road. The Super Nintendo. Okay, granted the CPU was weaker than the Sega Genesis CPU, but that's it, and only by a little. But the GPU and the sound chip were fan-fucking-tastic. I mean it, they were fan-fucking-tastic. They were the shiznit. If you look back and look at the specs for the Genesis in comparison to the Super Nintendo, the Super Nintendo was the bomb. And it's like Rich said, the audio even stands up well to this day. I've heard remixes on the DS of certain themes, like it was the Final Fantasy IV for the DS. I didn't like the music. I thought it was horrible. But the Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy IV on the Super Nintendo, which was Final Fantasy II at the time, really it's not, it's 4. The music in that is still better. It's still better. It's better than a lot of stuff nowadays. Even the Sega Genesis, even Final Fantasy VI, they did like a remake of that for tablets. What music do you think they used? They used recorded audio from the Super Nintendo. It's the exact same theme, the exact same sound for the Super Nintendo's Final Fantasy VI. They used that. The Super Nintendo was the shiznit back in the day. It really was. The Genesis wasn't horrible, but it could have been better. But you got to understand, the Super Nintendo came out after that. But Nintendo, they've always pushed. It isn't really. And Rich even says it wasn't really until the Wii that they gave up, that they threw their hands up and said, okay, this isn't working. We can't keep up with the Joneses. We gotta just try this a different way, and it kind of paid off, but it was a fluke. And the only time, and now we have the Wii U. It's a good system. I don't think it's a bad system at all. I don't exactly like the controller. I would love a slight redesign in it. Very slight, very slight. But I don't really like the controller. But the system as itself is pretty good, really. I mean, It's the only console right now I feel is an actual console. It is. I mean, what they even went as far as to recently give it a start, a quick start menu. So you go to turn on, you just click what you're going to play. You don't have to wait. Just click. It comes on, starts playing the game you want to play. Starts it up. No waiting around. No seeing a menu. No seeing an operating system or whatever you would like to call it. Nothing like that. I don't know about right now, but the last time I used a PlayStation 4, I don't own one. I want to own one eventually. The last time I used a PlayStation 4, I started it up and I had to go through a menu, navigate a menu. I used to have to do that with my PS3. Then there's the constant updates, constant out of nowhere updates that the PS3 had. They felt out of nowhere. The Wii U has updates, but they're not very often, and 9 times out of 10, they're welcome. They're welcome updates. It's not bugs or anything most of the time. I mean, granted, there are bugs now and then, but when you compare that with the other two consoles, now, of course, I'm going to have people calling me a fanboy again just because of this video. I really hate that. I am so sick of that. Do you know what a fanboy is? A fanboy is a jackass who calls other people fanboys. There you go. You're the fanboy. You're the one calling me a fanboy is the fanboys. It's like the like that saying, the pot calling the kettle black, or takes one to know one. If you're gonna sit there and claim I'm a fanboy, odds are you're a fanboy too. But yeah, moving on. When it comes to the Wii U, I do feel like there was some cock-ups. Yeah. I think one of the reasons developers don't want to really mess with the Wii U is because of that controller, that weirdness. People don't want to worry about that extra screen or anything. Plus, I think at this point it is because the console is anemic. Nobody wants to develop for it. Well, it's not anemic, but in comparison to the other two right now, it's not quite as powerful. But I would like to see that controller redesigned. I would like to not have to use that controller, and I think the latest update actually addresses that. Yeah, I think it does. I think the latest update, I need to get the latest update, by the way. I will. The latest update addresses that whole issue. You don't have to do certain things with the Wii U gamepad. I don't hate the gamepad. It works for some things, but then there are some games I'm just like, I don't want to use this. It's a little cumbersome. I don't like where some of the buttons are placed and how my hands feel like they have a hard time getting to everything. It's not very comfortable. Yeah, overall, I think Nintendo does well with their consoles. They have been about the power, trust me. Trust me, they've been about the power. It's just here of late. Here of late, they're not so much about the power. They're still trying to appeal to the casual crowd of mothers and grandmothers and stuff with a console that's less expensive. But let's look at it like this. Yes, the console is less expensive, but it's also a little less powerful, and that turns a lot of developers off. They don't want to mess with it. Granted, Call of Duty looks pretty good. I mentioned this before. It looks beautiful. I was surprised at how well it looked. And then even a lot of the first-party stuff coming out of Nintendo looks pretty darn good. Mario Kart 8 looks awesome. But there's a lot of graphics whores and tech whores. I don't even know what to call them. Tech whores. They're worried about the technical side a little bit. And these are the kind of people who they grew up and they were worried about, you know. I feel like it's the industry's fault. Because we grew up and the industry was like 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit. And so now we get to whatever we have now. They don't market that so well. So people don't exactly know the exact thing. So they look into it. They find out exactly what's powerful. And that's what they go with if they have the money. Again, Nintendo has been about power until recently. It's like Rich said, the GameCube was... There's a few things about the GameCube. The discs were tiny and annoying. And Nintendo's constantly worried about people, you know, stealing the games and stuff. You know, there's always going to be people stealing. It's unfortunate, but yeah. All you got to do is look at it like this. If they're stealing, they're probably not going to buy it to begin with. That's how it really is. I know a lot of people who would never, ever buy a game. If they couldn't count, or how do I say this? If they couldn't bootleg something, they just wouldn't bother with it at all. you're not really missing out on money with these people. Then there, of course, there are guys and girls. There's people that they do it because it's more affordable and they're on a fixed income and they have difficulties. I know that feeling. There's software that I've used on my computer that's, yeah. But okay, this video is going on way too long, much longer than I intended it to. It's already 10 minutes long. But yeah, Nintendo has always had powerful hardware when it comes to home consoles. The handhelds, on the other hand, they've always been behind the competition, but they won out. They always won out. This is the first time they're going to start losing out. Their next handheld better have something super fantastic and unique, because I'm going to tell you right now, tablets are taking over. It's what everybody's moved to. Kids nowadays use tablets and smartphones, and there's a commercial right now with these using the Fire or something, I think, and they're going over stuff, applications and movies and stuff they have, and they got Minecraft and everything on there, and they're smart asses about it. They're showing it, and they're like, there it is. Look what I got. That's what it's moving towards. Nintendo missed the ball. That's why the investors are constantly pushing, Nintendo, you need to put your games on tablets. I have a better idea. Nintendo, make a tablet. Make a tablet or a smartphone. Go ahead and just make one. Pretty sure you can make a telephone. You know, make an all-in-one device, proprietary, with your own software. You can do that. It would work. In my eyes, it would work. You could do one better and add like a controller you connect it to that actually is worth a damn. They can get it with a touch screen and whatnot. Bada bing, bada boom. So, yeah, I do worry about the future for Nintendo. They're already hitting some walls. Their next home console, they don't need to be stubborn. They need to give it their all. Go ahead and give it their all. People will flock to it, because manufacturers will go. Well, it's like a chain reaction. Gamers look at it and go, oh my god, it's so powerful, I have to have that console. Then in turn they get the console. Then in turn the third-party developers go, oh wow, this thing is powerful and we can do stuff with it, and people are already want it because it's so powerful. Never mind the price tag right now. That's how you get them all on board. I'm at fault, partly I think, for Nintendo's decision making. Personally, I think I am. I called Nintendo one time. I was like, well, I didn't call them. I sent them an email on their website. I said, the reason the Wii did so well is because it was affordable, and you're doing a wrong move, and it was this, and it was that. And I think it was my fault. Maybe not singly my fault, but yeah, you could probably blame me for the Wii U being anemic in comparison. It's not really anemic, just in comparison. Okay, I yapped enough, but yeah, it's like Rich said, though. I don't agree with everything from him. I don't agree with a lot of things on people say on here. Am I against him? No. The only ones I'm against are the ones who are complete and total hating, just haters. They like to hate things. Those are the ones I'm against. Yep. I'm against somebody. There's somebody I'm against. It's true. What is the guy's name? There's a guy on here I don't really like. I can't remember his name. He just likes to hate to hate. His videos are all about hate. It's him just going off on things. I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah. Alright, this has been The Goof. Yeah, my video is really long. I'm going to put links in the description to both videos, to Rich's video, as well as the video pertaining to what we're both talking about. Adam, I'm sorry, me and Rich both disagree with you. Granted, I respect Rich, I respect you, Rich respects you. Rich doesn't acknowledge me. I don't exist. I might have pissed him off, I guess. I probably did piss Rich off when I went on my couple of rants about him. Well, it wasn't focused on him, but I mentioned him, and him and a bunch of other people who cringed at the games Nintendo announced, because there were quite a few that were cute. And Rich was like, he is not interested at all in Woolly World, and yeah. Alright, 15 minutes is enough. You all have a fantastic whatever. I have no idea when videos are going to get posted up. Forgive my mess in the background. I still want to get a green screen. I don't know how much those cost. But I want to get a green screen, get the software needed, and put things behind me, and just do all kinds of crazy stuff. And start everything that I mentioned I'm going to do. But yeah. Bye. Have a good one.